When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can seem intense. Like breakup R&B intense.
I thought you said you loved the sweater that I got you. If you didn't, you could have told me.
Geico makes it easy. Just go to Geico.com anytime to update or check your policy without all the extra drama.
I even had a gift receipt.
Blog Talk Radio.
I can see what you're looking to find in a smile on my face, in my peace of mind, in my state of grace. I send what I can to the man from the minister race. He's a part of heaven's plan, he talks to me. Now I send what I can to the man with a diamond ring. He's a part of heaven's plan, yeah, and he sure can sing. Now it's all I can afford, but the Lord has sent me eternity. Save the little children in a poor country. Got my ticket to heaven, never left in line. I got a ride all the way to paradise. I've got my ticket to heaven and never left in line. Nothing left to pay my heating bill, but the good Lord will provide. I know He will. So send what you can to the man with a diamond ring. They're tuning in across the land to hear Him sing. Got my ticket to heaven, an everlasting life. Got a ride all the way to paradise. Got my ticket to heaven, an everlasting life. All the way to paradise.
Great tune there from Dire Straits, Ticket to Heaven, one of my favourites, which is why I played it. If it wasn't a favourite, I wouldn't have played it. So there you go. Welcome to this Thursday night, I believe it is. I think it's still Thursday. Played that. I don't know if you listened to the words, but I played that for Joel Osteen and his fellow pious hypocrites who take money from little old ladies who can ill afford it, peddling false hope so they can buy mansions and jet airplanes and fancy cars and hookers mostly. So a little bit of political comment from yours truly there this evening. We have Xtina on the line. How are you, my dear?
I am good. I'm just laughing at your and hookers comment there.
Well, hey, you know, it's something dear to my heart, having never given a penny to any religious institution apart from my first marriage, and that turned out to be pretty horrendous. You know, lessons learned and all the rest of it. So I don't know, you guys have heard the song over here. I mean, it was from, I think, oh, God, way back in the 90s. So big Dire Straits fan from their album On Every Street. And it's just a great album. But that song has stayed with me for a lot of years. It's another one that it's a really pleasant tune, but the words are pretty dire when you listen to it. You know, so there you go. There's my little bit of political comment. And how are you this evening?
You know, I am good. It's been a kind of strange day for me, but it's not bad, just strange. I don't know, maybe I didn't get enough sleep last night or something. But you know, I'm happy to be here right now. So with you and with our guests, so I'm excited.
Yeah, good. So I just noticed on here there's a guy called Solodger Alfredin something or other who's asking me how I am. I'm going to talk to him while we're on the air. On Messenger. I think that's great. I'm going to say I'm really well. I think he may be a Nigerian prince, in which case I'll be sending him a couple of 100,000 because I'll get sort of 20 million back, which I think is a bargain. I mean, you look at the interest rate on that, you know, for 3 months of waiting for your money to come through. I think it's well worth it. How about you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you, okay?
Well, you know, I might not because, you know, I might be in Barbados or, you know, bought an island somewhere with all my money and you're not getting any of it. So there you go, you cynical thing.
I'm your co-host. Come on now. We're a package deal, aren't we?
No. Not
Damn
really.
it!
So hey, have we got a show? Have we got a show tonight? I bloody well hope so.
I think that we do. Yes.
We are, like I say, I really hope we have. Otherwise, we're just going to be dull for an hour, really. We have, and I say it's a personal favourite. They're all your. I've noticed this actually. They're all your personal favourites. Not one of mine yet. So I'm starting to feel. I tell a lie. No, Nick Grabowski was my man crush, and I really enjoyed chatting to him the other week. We have Debra Anastasia and AI NASA. We've got two fantastic authors. Chalk and cheese tonight. We have Debra, who's an authoress of the most amazing erotica, and AI NASA, who is a good old school horror author, which is obviously something close to my heart. Not that I'm averse to a little bit of erotica now and then. It's basically well written. I've actually been doing some research because it is a genre I've been sort of wanting to toy with, and there's some pretty dire stuff out there, I have to say. There's some really bad stuff out there.
Yeah, there is. There really is. I saw a post, and I'm not going to say what book. Well, you know what? Screw it. It was from 50 Shades of Grey, and there were some like quotes that were actual phrases or you know, sentences or something from 50 Shades of Grey, and it just made me cringe. You know, I was thinking, you know,
because you never read that, did you? Read
no,
it.
I did. I did.
It's a great exercise in how not to write a book.
No, it's
terrible. It's terrible.
I read them all three, like twice. So.
Oh, really?
Don't ask me.
I read the first one. I thought I'm no spring chicken anymore, and you know so much of my life I really can't afford to waste right now. So I just, but no, I mean, the repetition was, I think, it was just.
Well,
having said that, E.L. James has made a disgusting amount of money on it. So it's popular. Yeah. She's obviously hit a nerve there. So credit to the woman. She's made. If it's what we aspire to, I'd quite happily throw my artistic integrity down the toilet for that kind of bank balance. To tell you the truth, I consider myself an artist, but I'm also a greedy bastard. So
no,
there you go.
I had heard that it was Twilight. Twilight fan fiction. So. I was excited, and it was like halfway through the book before I was like, why isn't he biting her? I was thinking, he was a vampire, so I was kind of disappointed.
Well, interesting thing about vampires, I mean, sort of sexualizing vampires, obviously, having a vampire boyfriend who is dead, therefore there's no blood flow. You can see where I'm going with this. What's the point? Yeah. Really, but obviously I'm more of a werewolf man myself, which reminds me, actually, my werewolf short story, The Five Towns Pageant, will be out in Full Moon Slaughter by J. Ellington Ashton in a month or so. So that's one. I always wanted to write a werewolf story, and, particularly proud of that one. So there you go. Exciting. There's always something going on. There's always something going on.
There really is.
So, hang on, here we go. Before we go to Deborah, we've got probably one of our first online messages come through. It's James H. Longmore is a cunt. Oh, well, you'd expect better from Joel Osteen, wouldn't you?
Oh my
Joel, we think you're a cunt as well. And again, with apologies for the fruity language. No, not really. I'm going to bring Deborah in and see if we can bring a little bit of class to the show. Deborah, are you there?
I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Clear. How are you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Good. I know Xtina has been beside herself. Looking forward to chatting to you this evening. So, but anyway, no, thanks for coming out to the show. You're here to talk about your book, The Revenger, which was out in February, I believe.
It was, yes.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so tell us a little bit about it.
Well, first I want to say hello to Xtina.
Hi, Deborah.
She and I are in each other's messages a lot of times during our releases and things. So awesome. I'm excited for her poetry book and also the book that she's writing. So if no one read her yet, they really need to because her stuff is awesome. The Revenger came out in February, and it's sort of a testament to female anger because I felt like a lot of times women are sort of asked to withhold their anger or told that maybe they're a bitch for being angry. And I feel like anger is powerful, especially coming from a woman who's maybe defending her family or her kids. And I kind of want the world to be afraid of the females that might be angry. So it's sort of an anti-superhero paranormal in that she's not really a great character, but she tries to do the wrong things for the right reasons, which is my favorite type of person to write about. Yes.
Awesome. You say, do you? And this is erotica? Is it dark erotica? Is it? Well, how do you? If you were to give it a label, how would you label that?
I would call it romantic suspense. And with The Revenger in particular, there's much more emphasis on the suspense part. And I do comedy, I do this, I'm pretty much anything, I'll give it a try. But this particular book was dear to my heart because I wrote it when I was super, super angry. So it's nice to put those things in a place and shut the door and move on. So it's kind of like facing a fear, right? Like that you have to get it out of your brain and move on.
You know, I have not read The Revenger yet, and I'm so behind on my reading, and it just bothers me because I have loved everything that I have read by you. I've loved and I have to say, I think that Poughkeepsie was the very first indie book I ever read. I didn't have any idea what I was, picking up when I started reading it, and it was just beautiful. I mean, from the first page, and that's when I became a huge, kind of stalker fan of yours. And I loved. Oh my gosh, I loved Eve. I think that when you talk about the Revenger, I picture Eve. She was really a kick-ass broad, and I love that. I would love to be like that.
I think you are like that. I think we're all like that. I think that women definitely can be just a force to be reckoned with, whether it's a quiet way or an actual, just the way you power through your day. You can probably think of 5 or 6 ladies that have faced things and then keep on going, and it just blows you away. A friend of mine recently battled breast cancer, and she's just a warrior. It takes my breath away. She's amazing. So kind of it's sort of a backwards way of celebrating how strong the ladies in our life can be in a really weird way. Because basically in The Revenger, she can tell the content of someone's soul by the color of the aura around them. And if they are not good people, they glow red for her, and she has to beat them up until the red goes away.
Oh, wow.
So she's sort of like the Punisher, I guess, in a way.
Awesome.
Yeah, and she's having trouble controlling it, because once you tip into that, she wants to be a good person, but there's this need to just destroy anyone that hasn't done the right thing in their lives. And it's a very different book.
It sounds awesome. It sounds. So I'm going to jump straight ahead here. Do you have a bit of a reading for us? I'd love to hear some of this.
Okay, I do. I'm going to
by
have to
pure
set it up.
coincidence.
Pure coincidence. I'm going to have to set it up for you. Like, it's kind of odd. The book starts on a very dark note. She's lost her family and she's suicidal. And she's promised her brother that she wouldn't kill herself. But she decides to drive into the worst part of town and maybe let someone do the job for her. And as she gets there, she starts to feel really weird, and she can see the red auras around the people in the town. So she basically gets angry and walks into this bar and just looks around and finds this guy who she can kind of tell he's a horrible, horrible person. So she flirts with him a little bit and leads him on a bit and then takes him out back. And so this is the scene. She doesn't really know him very well, but it's just the two of them in a back alley. Here we go. Savvy couldn't pull her attention from... Are you ready? I'm sorry.
I'll say you go for it. Go for it. I'm cueing you in. Go for it.
Okay. Savvy couldn't pull her attention away from the red atmosphere that enveloped the bastard, lighting him from all around. It throbbed for her, tempted her, seemed to offer her power. Something's wrong with me. I need to be scared. I should be afraid. Savvy soon realized he liked pain. He backhanded her viciously. Her hair whirled around her as she absorbed the blow. Something in Savvy's mind snapped. She went primal, feral. All she could see was red, and her body was in motion. Every time she landed a crushing blow, the red aura around him got smaller, and she felt fantastic. The more he screamed, the more satisfied she became. She stepped on his femur and grabbed his ankle. Effortlessly, she bent his leg until it gave a satisfying snap. She knew her strength wasn't reasonable. How did she know right where to step, how to plant her feet to throw punches? Phil had seemed more surprised than she was, and that was saying something. She laughed out loud with the euphoria as she proceeded to break each of his limbs. He screamed like an animal getting hit by a car, and she felt the energy flow through her. She finally stumbled back and closed her eyes. She stretched her arms and took a deep breath. The man couldn't even cry, and his red oil was gone. It wasn't glowing through her closed eyelids anymore. When she opened her eyes, she realized she had damn near torn the man apart. He was still alive, but she bet he wished he wasn't. I did this. Oh, my God. What did I do? Savvy's stomach turned. She leaned over and emptied its contents. Her hands shook, and, dear God, she was covered in his blood. So that's how she starts, basically.
Wow. That is powerful stuff. That is incredibly dark. Incredibly, I like it. I'm gonna have to get me a copy. Where would I get a copy of that? Where is it available?
Yeah.
Amazon. Of course.
Amazon
awesome.
is where that's available. It's available on Kindle and stuff, and it's basically a story of a kind of an evil guy who wants her as a weapon, and it's the back and forth between them. So it's a very dark book, but it has a lightness in that she has a purpose.
Yeah, I like the darkness. As I said earlier, I mean, purely for research purposes, I will stress that I have been sort of dotting around some of the lower echelons of the erotica on Amazon, and I would say most of it is subpar. I think I'll be kind, but I mean this is good quality stuff. I really, I wish you could have carried on. Actually, I was really enjoying that. That's awesome. I can actually feel the guy's legs breaking.
Yeah. I have to say that I have to bring up Fire Down Below because I love. Oh my God, James, you have to read this one. Like seriously, it is so good But you can't eat while you're reading it because you will choke to death. You will actually choke to death. I remember I think I was trying to drink something at the same time, and I read something wrong. I just read it, and it went down the wrong tube, and I thought I was going to die. But it was, what a way to go. I know. I mean, it is such a laugh-out-loud book, and I love the story. And, man, it was so unique, and I think that is one thing that I can definitely say about all of your books is that, especially in the close-knit kind of, the indie world, is that, people get on these bandwagons and, they're producing the same thing with just a different title, different names or something, but I think that with Debra Anastasia, everything is just so unique, and it's so, I mean, the Poughkeepsie story, I mean, that was, man, and it's the very first, I think it was the very first line when it says, he counts her smiles. I think that alone had me going, my heart.
That one was, the Poughkeepsie came from, watching, and I love romance novels, too. I'm a reader, and I enjoy them very much. But I had read quite a few where the gentleman was rich, which is fine. But I looked at my husband, who I'm crazy about, and we're not rich. We're not ever going to be rich. But he deserves the same admiration as a romance hero in my head because what he does, like just the other day, I had to put my dog down, which is so sad. And because he knows it's sad, he went and he took the dog to the vet for me. I mean, how do you put that? You can't quantify that with money. That he would take that from me and take it on to himself. So I looked at this guy and I was like, okay, I'm writing a story where the guy has not a single thing. He's homeless, and all he can offer her is love. And if I can make a reader understand that even a man with not a single dime is a love story, is a hero, then they can maybe understand where my feelings for my husband come from. So it's sort of where that one came from, and it was based in a lot of, my dad's stories growing up. Him and his brother, would do all the wrong things for the right reasons, and it was back when you could punch somebody and nobody got sued. And, if you talked about somebody's mom, they wouldn't handle it. It's hilarious to hear their stories. It's such a different world. So I kind of wanted to live in that world a little too. So that's where Poughkeepsie came from, and I'm so glad that you enjoy it because it was fun to write for sure.
Hearing you talk about it like that, I think I must be close to my period or something because I'm going to cry. So beautiful.
Excuse me, family show. Well, you can't talk about such things.
And I think that the Fire Down Below is that one's. I sat in the Target parking lot, and I had to wait on a yeast infection medication from the pharmacist. And I thought, what a horrible way to start a book. So I immediately went home and started writing it.
That's awesome, though.
The pharmacist and the girl who has this prescription that she doesn't want to get, are the main characters, and that every evil thing you can think of happens to them. And she gets food poisoning. Like, it's not normal. This isn't normal reading.
Oh, my God, James, there was this one scene. Can I tell him the one scene? I want to tell him. Yeah. Okay,
as long as it's not about yeast infections and periods, you go for it. I'm blushing here, by the way, ladies. I'm blushing.
Nice.
Seriously.
The first time that the couple have sex and they get done, and I think he asked her, like, how was it or something like that. And she's like, well, you know how, like, every, fourth thrust I feel like a virgin? Well, that was my asshole. Oh, my God. That was so funny.
No. Hey, we've all been there, really.
We've all been there.
And here's a word to the wise from a guy. It's not always an accident, to be honest.
Oh, my God.
Allegedly. And I'm saying no more. Let's get back to yeast infections, shall we?
I think you're calling yourself out a little right there. You better be careful.
I'm admitting to. It was actually a friend that told me. I'm admitting to nothing. Seriously.
I don't think that's ever happened to me, so I can't comment. But that was so funny. There was so many
to be honest,
lines.
I mean, because I'm British, it's polite. We always ask. So
written invitation or something nice.
We would ask very politely and then cue. So that would work out.
Yeah. There were so many good lines.
Infection. Moving on.
No, there were so many good lines in that book. I remember when I was doing my review for it, making teasers and stuff. And
oh, Lord. Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember the one that I made with the like, little pile of shit?
Yeah.
That was a great one. I'm telling you.
It's the story of, being a girl and getting ready for dates and things and getting your hair stuck in the rollers and, putting weird creams on and trying to be someone you're not. And it's just sort of a way to stuff all that awkward into one single story. So pretty much everything in there horribly happened to me. So where it all belongs, somewhere, so it can be a legacy for my children.
And I loved the cameo there with you and Mr. Anastasia. That was a nice little touch. I love that.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird I did it, that's for sure. I definitely wrote it in there. And that was a story where I just, you don't write that story and expect anybody to read it. So it was quite a surprise when people
oh my gosh,
were laughing.
You're crazy because I loved it so much. I bought it. I have it on my bookshelf. I have to get the next one. I have to get the next one. But did you say? Even the covers are really, just amazing. I love the covers too. They really are. Yes, they're great though.
Well, the swag I do for that is I do the hand painted maxi pads.
I remember one. I have two of them. Yeah, we got married.
I'll have to
our
send one to
pad.
James so he can have one. James probably wants one. Yeah, with his face on it.
I definitely
did we scare him away? I think we did.
I'm wondering. Yeah.
No, I'm still here. I'm for once in my life speechless. To be honest. We're not for long. I'm enjoying this. This is fun.
I don't understand how you can be speechless. I'm thinking of the erotic odyssey of Colton Forche. How can this make you speechless? No.
I'm going to take that as a compliment.
Yes.
Good point. Yeah, you should. Yeah, it does take a lot to render me speechless, to be quite honest with you.
What I can tell you about the sequel to Fire Down Below. Fire Down Below has a sequel called Fire in the Hole. Mm-hmm. And it's the sequel, and in it there is a scene where I light Muppets on fire. They have to jump in a wedding fountain and put themselves out. So this is, this literary genius doesn't come around all the time like this.
No, it really doesn't.
I like it.
Yeah. Just be grateful I picked the book I did to do the reading of too, because horror has a whole different name when you put it in different books.
But it would sure have been entertaining though. So.
There is that.
Yeah, I think our time is up, and I'm really sad because I think we just blinked and it was over with. I don't understand where it went. Some kind of weird space-time continuum mess up or something. You know.
But you guys have a fun party here for sure. It's time to fly.
Thank you, Deborah. Will you come back?
Of course.
Yay!
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Yeah, we need a whole show just for you. I'm sure there's far more yeast infection stories going around in your head. I'd love to hear more, honestly. No, it's been fantastic. I seriously would like. I'm going to get myself a copy of your book, The Revenger. It sounds. It's just the sort of thing I'd enjoy. I'd really enjoy it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Look forward to reading that. So thank you so much for joining us. It's been
my pleasure. Thank you for
fun.
having
Sorry,
me.
it's been brief. But seriously, let's have you back and have a bit more chat. Yeah,
for sure.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you, Deborah.
Right, thank you, Deborah. Thank you so much. I've got a little bit of a tune coming up. Not a long one, but it's an oldie but goodie, and hopefully we have Ahmed on the line when we get back. Awesome tune there from the Buzzcocks from When Music Was Music, and not the woolly bullshit and rap and crap knows what you have to listen to these days. Again, one of my favourite from the punk era. We covered got 10 years or so later by the Fine Young Cannibals. If I can get a copy of that for next week, I'll play that one because that is an equally good version of the song. So we're back. We have, I don't know who it is, to be honest. We have a mystery caller. And just for pure curiosity's sake, we're going to bring him in and see who that is. Hello, mystery caller. He's not Joel Osteen, is it, for God's sake? Hello?
No.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how you been? You've been on hold for for the duration, bless you. So the girls were chatting on about yeast infections and down below stuff, and I couldn't get a word in edgeways. And you were there, I could see you. And how are you this evening? Are you well, my dear?
I'm good. I hope you are.
Good. I'm fine actually. I'm gonna have a big fat Bloody Mary when I've finished this because I'm worth it. To be honest, I deserve that.
After that conversation, we know why Xtina ate so many chocolate-covered Twinkies yesterday.
Can we just raise the bar a little bit above, the navel?
I had to pick on her a little.
Could we do that? I don't want to. The whole yeast infection thing is if you pardon the phrase, left a nasty taste in my mouth. So that was a joke, by the way. I mean,
I know.
big fan of yeast infections, I have to say. So we should. Xtina, are you there, my dear?
I am here. Yes,
are you?
Good. And I just wanted to say. Wait, James, I wanted to say with the chocolate covered Twinkie thing, I ate an obscene amount of them, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get fat. And then I thought, well, it still wouldn't be like Elizabeth Benega's fat though, so I'm okay.
Yeah, but she was the ultimate party girl.
Oh God, I still don't want to aspire to that though. I really don't. But those chocolate covered Twinkies were really, really good. But I will tell you that after like number 3, you start to get a little sick. So,
I can imagine. Yeah, they are quite. Yes, they are. I think I could probably manage 2 before I start feeling unwell.
Yeah, 2 would be my limit.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm a big chocolate. I mean, my ultimate would be chocolate covered chocolate. I mean, I just love anything with chocolate on it is a must for me. So,
yes.
You had me at chocolate covered. So. I like her giggle. I think it's nice.
I do too. But all she does is giggle.
It's better than being miserable. To be honest with you.
Yes, it is.
I have my serious moments. I do. I swear. They just don't happen very often. But
that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it's Thursday night. The weekend is approaching. We're pretty chill here, so why not? Let's have a giggle and whatnot. So So our second guest. I don't know. I think the aliens might have taken him. That happens. I was watching the documentary Close Encounters of the Third Kind the other week, and it happens. It took him away, and nobody cared what happened to his family. So again,
you think that's what happened to Ahmed?
It could well be, 30-year spoiler alert, by the way. Well, hey, we can chat anyway. Let's have a chat anyway. So, Leah, what have you been doing tonight? Okay. Come on, Leah. Come on. You're on the spot now. You're the guest. What have you been doing today?
Today was a doctor, errand running, bill paying kind of day. All the fun, all the adult stuff that we hate doing.
Grown up shit. Yes.
I don't adult well. No, I've actually almost gotten to the point where I omit mornings totally out of my schedule. So I think today it was like 11:46 when I rolled out of bed, and I was like, yes, I've almost completely got rid of mornings, and I was happy about that. I'm aiming for at least noon. It's funny because James, you get up at like fucking crack of birds, don't you? It's like 6 or 7 or something. That's insane.
I actually get up and wake the bloody birds up. Well, it's because my kids here. It sort of stuck with me. They're up pretty early because my son, his school bus is at 5 minutes to 7. So I have to be up to start shouting him. So from 6. So and that's you get to vacation time, and that's my circadian rhythm, I'm afraid, and I'm wide awake at 6:30 no matter what. But,
we were messaging each other this morning at that time.
Yeah.
I always picture the Osborne family when he talks about, his daughter Xtina is bad. No, really, I do. But it's cute. I loved watching the Osborne. So that's but that's what I picture. You have the accent. They're cursing real bad, and that's just what I picture.
Mum is long, so she just. I mean, my daughter, she learned how to twerk. Somebody taught her at dance class a couple of years, and she twerks really well. So she's twerking and swearing like a sailor. And my wife is just like 7. My wife looks at me like this is all your fault. She just looks at me, she's like totally 100% your fault. And she's probably right, to be honest. But she's a proper little character as my daughter. But she's chip off the old block. Debra's back.
Yay!
Debra, you're back.
I'm back.
Yay! Fantastic. Sorry, that again, just to educate our listener. Ayo is a Yorkshire term which means hello. So there you go. You've learned something. You say ayo. No, you say ayo. Everybody, come on, just ayo. Nice. How's that doing? How's that doing? Ayo, cock.
I don't. Yeah, I'll let y'all say it.
So. Great to have you back. You have something for us from Fire Down Below, I believe. Please say yes.
I do, because it's a horror show.
Superstar. We all love you.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, hey, you go for it. This is a rare
kids out of the room. I figured I'd read you the synopsis, honestly, because I found it and I thought of this might be what you need. Now, we're talking about Fire Down Below again, which is my horrible comedy. I guess comedy is a good word. It's like a violent comedy. Here's your synopsis. Dove Glitch is embarrassed about everything above her knees and below her belly button. When she has to fill a delicate, embarrassing prescription, the last thing she needs is a sexy as hell and brand spanking new pharmacist behind the counter. Jonathan Fitzwell's first day of his dream career also happens to coincide with the exact moment Dove needs her feminine meds filled. His glorious voice is way too loud, as in he should be counting down the hits with Ryan Seacrest kind of loud. Thanks to Jonathan's handsome face and gorgeous jawline, Dove dives headlong into her walking nightmare and asks for a vagina-scented cream. How could she not fall for him? Dove's only active goal now is to get Johnson to kiss her right on the lips. Either set. However, his horrible girlfriend is one of the many obstacles preventing her from making that fantasy a reality. When Dove defends Johnson in the most unhygienic, unconventionally gross way, in the middle of a crowded restaurant, their tender, slightly tantric relationship is off to a galloping, farting start. Each copy of this book will be dipped in holy water by my mom and glared at by my father as he purses his lips. Neither will help, so drop your pants and turn to the left and cough. I hope you're not allergic to latex because it's time to fill your prescription anally. That's the synopsis.
It's fantastic.
It sounds good. I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, I remember your the way you promoted it was hilarious. Oh my gosh, every single time I would see another update, and I made one. I remember making one, and they were so awesome. They were.
They were all an anti-campaign.
Yes.
I asked people to tell me how much they hated the book, and that's how we promoted it. Every single author I knew, everyone, all the bloggers gave me how much they were warning people away from the book.
Oh, who was it that just was like, no? I mean, that was it.
That was Jamie McGuire, yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
It was the best. And for the people she did, still no. That was her blurb. That's what I got.
That was like the best promotion ever, because, I mean, every single one, I was just jumping to see the next one because they were so good.
That was stupid.
I loved it.
Stupid. And now I'm doing, I have a release August 28th, and it's called The Booty Camp Dating Service, and it's also a comedy. And I'm doing a slightly different marketing on that in that we're doing fake, like infomercials for it. So that's fun too.
So
trying to mix it up.
Is there just going to be 2 in the Fire Down Below? Is this just 2, or are you going to? Or is there another
now,
one?
Yeah. For them, that's starting. I have this booty camp one. Then I have a World War II novel that is not funny, honoring my great uncle who died in World War II, and it's sort of a way to put his name down for eternity because he didn't have kids or anything. He gave his life for the country, and so that's sort of a way to memorialize him. And then I have a book called Cherry Farts, which is going to be like Fire Down Below in that it's horrible, horrible.
No, they're the best.
Cherry
They really
Farts.
are.
Cherry Farts, yes. Cherry Farts, that's the name of the book.
Oh, God. I can't wait to read it.
They really are the best. But there were times reading Fire Down Below that I would be like, I can't believe she went there.
Yeah, nobody can believe it.
But it was so good. It really was. And I love Duke.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Now, starting out, I didn't care for him too much, but by the end, I was like,
yes,
I want her with Duke. And then I felt repulsed.
Yeah,
that I
you
felt
feel
that
like
way.
You're a cheater, yeah, because you started off with you're supposed to want the pharmacist, right? And then the neighbor winds up being something that's, it's a weird book for sure. But it certainly made me laugh writing it. And so I just feel like if I'm having the emotion that I want the reader to feel while I'm writing it, it should work out. Yeah. It should be okay.
And it did. I really, after I read it, I recommended it to all of my blogger friends, and I'm like, you have to read this. It's just so funny. I mean, and anything that I love to laugh, I really do. But
laughing is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't think that there's been books and I actually think I said this in the review that, there's times I smile, there's times I chuckle at a book, but to actually get me, to where I'm crying and choking, I've never had that happen before.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That makes my day. Because, again, not everybody who thinks they have a sense of humor has one.
Right,
right. Or doesn't find what I think is funny. I mean, some people will be like, oh, that's too much. That's crazy. But you just have to be true to whatever it is that makes you laugh. And to me, we're all in such awkward situations sometimes. I think if you just... Yeah. You got to learn to laugh, otherwise it's not. Life
isn't always pretty. It's not always fun, and there are embarrassing things that happen all the time, and you never see that in a book. And I know that a lot of times people want to read for escape or something like that, but to actually read something that is so real, and I think there were parts that had me blushing and had me going, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for her.
And that's literally just like writing without a seatbelt. But I've read your stuff, Xtina, and you definitely do not pull any punches. You write from your soul exactly what you need to put on paper. Beautiful poetry.
Thank you so much.
So I know you get it. Like I know you know where to pull from to get that kind of reaction.
Yeah, I do, and that is something that when you can translate your feelings so well. I mean, mine usually stem from hurt, and then I try to channel that into anger. Actually, I mean, sometimes it doesn't come out like that. It does come out as hurt. But when I can do it and make it angry, those can be powerful. So much fun.
Very.
But it is weird. It was very weird for me when Dark Musings came out because it was like people were reading my diary, and I don't think it's a weird feeling, and it still is now. If I go on Goodreads and it'll show, so and so is, wants to read your book, I'm like, oh God, what are they going to think?
It's very raw. I always say that writing is a very safe daredevil sport because there is a certain amount of just jumping without a parachute. People are going to know what's in your head.
Yeah.
And usually your head's protected. They can't normally hear what you have going on in there, and to have it out there is pretty it's pretty scary sometimes.
I think that's where having a thick skin comes into it. If you can't take some criticism, and I think we all come across fellow writers like that who they ask for critique, you give them it, and then they get really offended and they defend it, and as well. If you can't take a bit of critique, you really need to go do something else too,
Right. Well, like there's the business end of writing, which I'm sure you know, James, is that you have to sort of be a business person, and you have to not be a tender little Roni. You have to grapple in your big boy pants and take the criticism and try and see through their eyes. Are they valid? Is it something that matters? Yeah. James, what are you working on? Are you writing something right now?
What am I working on? I'm working on a couple of projects at the moment. One is a sort of dystopian cop sort of thing. I mean, it is horror, but it's not sort of monsters and demons and whatnot. I'm also looking into a little bit of erotic horror as well. But and sort of polishing up for my anthology. I've got a couple of short stories that I'm polishing up. So keeping busy. I mean, the novel is my big project, which hopefully will be out sometime next year. It's sort of based on a screenplay that I wrote a couple of years ago. So it's if you imagine somewhere between sort of Blade Runner and Seven, you're probably going to be not too far away. Certainly. Feeling wise anyway, so watch this space, as they say, or watch my website, which is www.jameslongmore.com.
The screenwriting caught my eye because screenwriting is a very unique talent. It's very hard, which I found out when I tried to write one, and then I gave up. It took me
a good number of years, a lot of work, and a lot of critique from some good people to actually hone that particular craft. My first screenplays were, too long. They were all over the place, whatever, But it's like anything, you have to work at the craft, So
yeah, for sure.
I wanted to say, Deborah, you should really check out James's the Bizarro I read not too long ago. He wrote The Erotic Odyssey of Colton Porche. And now I know that you have a sense of humor, and I know that, because reading you, especially some of your characters in Poughkeepsie and the things, I think you would get a kick out of this book. I mean, I
would definitely look it up. Yeah, for sure.
I had never read Bizarro before, and as with when I read some of your stuff, and I'm going, oh my gosh, I can't believe she went there. It's the same thing that I go through when I'm reading James. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you wrote that.
It's very dark humor. Yeah, I think. So tell me what, Deborah, if you want, I mean, give us your address at the end of the show, and I will sign a copy and I will mail it to you.
Okay, and how about we swap? I'll send you The Revenger.
Brilliant deal. Right, so we are going to have to go now. I'm afraid we've got a couple of minutes left. I've actually especially picked the final tune for Mitch Workman, who works for Jaded Books Publishing, based on a little conversation after the show. Hey Mitch, he was having some technical problems. Hopefully he's back on the air. Again, Deborah, thank you so much for popping back. Let's swap addresses. Yeah, I would love that. Let's exchange books. That'll be fantastic. Really appreciate that.
You won't regret it. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, I'm going to play you. And it's good night from Xtina and me and Deborah and Leah and everybody else who managed to get on the air tonight. Okay, have a great
night.
I gotta keep a rocking.
Beneath the sands of time, the Snake King slumbers. Legend says one day he will rise and cast a curse so powerful it will make our world spin. Forwards, backwards, and spinning all around. Come face to Fang with the Snake King. Cobra's Curse, the new one-of-a-kind family spin coaster. Now open at Busch Gardens. Get an annual pass for only $14 per month with free parking, no blockout dates, and no down payment. Details at buschgardenstampa.com. Taxes and service fees not included. Restrictions apply.
Sarah figured out that by switching to Metro PCS, she gets 2 free smartphones.
Your barbecue ribs are the best.
Take the rest home with you, Sarah.
Just like she figured out that by visiting her in-laws, she doesn't have to cook for the rest of the week. You too figure it out. Get 2 free 4G LTE smartphones from top brands like Samsung and LG after instant rebate when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included. See store or metropcs.com for details and terms and conditions.